this is awesome. And then it became a routine. I just loved those nervous shows, the big festivals when it was a little bit cold out, or when you're just apprehensive or nervous, like hometown shows. People don't know that, you know, playing whack in or playing download fests and playing in front of 20,000 people, you would think you're super nervous there
Mm.
compared to hometown shows, but I'll play in front of hometown shows in front of only 400 or 500 people and be way more nervous because there's so many friends and people that I respect and other drummers and all my buddies. I'm super nervous there. So my jacket was like that security blanket, and it's always kind of been there with me for the last 2 decades.
That's amazing. I actually never knew that story. I've seen the jacket, obviously, several times, but
because you don't
that's
see
great.
me wearing you don't see me wearing a white one and then a pink one and then
No.
a blue one. It's always my black Yamaha jacket. The Yamaha logo, that Yamaha logo, it got washed off many, many years ago, but I still proudly wear it. It's missing buttons. It's falling apart on me, but I still break it out and wear it every night.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's actually a really good tip for staying warm, because that's something I try to do too. Is I'll do sort of the push-ups. I'll do more of an exercise routine than any kind of, I'll still tap a few, get my legs and hands moving a bit, but I'll do more of an exercise routine with stretchy bands and whatnot on the road, and just get myself warmed up and ready to go. It just gets all the muscles around my degenerated back disc all filled with blood and, I don't know, spinal fluid, and just ready to roll.
Yeah, get the juices flowing.
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it. So you mentioned earlier, sort of part of your routine is making music, hitting the studio. What actually is your practice routine or schedule?
I'm super lucky. I'm very fortunate. Our studio for the last 24 years has been my brother's home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only about 20 kilometers away from me. So it's literally a 15-minute ride if there's no traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a fan of music. So every morning I wake up, all I really want to do, man, I want to go to the studio. I want to work on music. I don't necessarily want to play drums for 3 hours, but I love playing guitar. I love writing music. And of course I love playing drums if I can every day of my life. So, the routine is exactly what you would imagine if you're lucky enough to have the studio only 20 minutes away from you. I wake up, I have a couple cups of coffee, and finish up my morning with my home and my pets here. And when I'm cleaned up and everyone's happy here at home, I head to the studio, and I don't spend all day there, but I'll probably do 2 hours, 3 hours at the studio 6 days a week, simply because I love it. And always working on just music and obituary stuff. And of course the business side of the band is always done at the studio, because my brother and I are always there and we kind of run the company. So there's a lot of email and stuff like that as well. But the minute that I can lock the door and tell him to fuck off and quit asking me business questions, there's nothing better than to fire the Pro Tools rig up, put my headphones on, and just jam to whatever. We got it set up to where, of course, we have the sessions set up where I can, if I come up with a cool idea, drum wise or guitar riff wise, I can record it very quickly. But also, I just like, we have it to where we have a little Bluetooth thing that we can play just music. So there's nothing more fun than to throw on an AC/DC album, or for me, like an Alice in Chains album, or Dio. You put on Holy Diver when no one's around. That's just, and I got it mixed in with the Pro Tools session, so my drum kit sounds fucking sick, studio quality, and then I get to jam to Dio. It's
amazing.
And I just do that. I do that every day if I can. Life is too short not to have a goddamn blast. and I've always kind of lived that way. And music there's nothing more fun than getting behind a drum kit for me, and I do that every day if I can.
Amazing. I actually play a couple of instruments myself, but just that story you're saying then, that routine, I'm gathering that is what birthed that fantastic album you and your brother did many years ago, the Tardy Brothers album. I got
Yeah,
right
man.
into that. You gave me a copy of that on maybe that Berserker tour.
Yeah.
And I pumped it for about a year. It was the only CD in my car CD
Awesome, bro.
player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could not be more proud of that album.
You played all the instruments as well.
Because
Yeah.
I wrote all the songs because I do play guitar. I've played guitar my entire life.
Hmm.
When Trevor and I were children, and literally 14 and 15 years old, it was my mom's house that we were able to practice because I had the drum
Yeah.
kit. So Trevor would ride his bicycle over, and of course his amplifier that his mom bought him and his guitar, we would jam until till my mom would kick him out because it's
Yeah.
dinner time, and then Trevor would leave his guitar. So man, I would pick the guitar up, and that was like, that was back in the day when it was just, I mean, what was there? There was Venom and there was Metallica,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was a student of just learning just basic metal, and
Yep.
so anyway, yeah. So the Tardy Brothers album, I wrote all the songs, and then I played all the instruments on the album, and except for the solos, of course. And I just had some friends come in, Ralph, and
Hmm.
a couple of shredding guitar players, and it's still one of my most proud albums that I've been a part of because I wrote it, and
Yeah.
my brother wanted to do it with me, and we had a really fun time doing it, and that album now is, I don't even know, it's probably 12, 13, 15 fucking years ago. Like, it's hard to believe that. But
Yeah.
it's been a long ass time. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, I've been writing songs since then, but I just haven't had the time.
Yeah.
Obituary keeps me so busy that I haven't had the time to follow up and finish up and get these songs, because I have six pretty solid songs of a new Tardy Brothers album that we're working, but
Awesome.
I just haven't had the time because our band, Obituary, has been luckily and fortunately, we've been really busy and really kicking ass. So the
Yeah.
Tardy Brothers album another one's coming, and I got some really cool songs.
Awesome. I'm excited for that because
Yeah,
like I
man.
say, I really dug the last one.
Cool, man.
Um, yeah, that's amazing. Well, that sounds like a pretty damn good day. I actually do live about 10 minutes from my mate's studio where
Nice.
where our stuff's set up. I had a bit of a jam this morning with my thrash band. Fuck. We actually opened up for you guys in Brizzy in
I
2020.
remember. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah.
that.
We had a
Cool.
bit of a jam there this morning, but that's a
Cool.
10-minute drive. But sometimes I ride my bike, my push bike. There's a few
Yeah.
bike paths and stuff, so another little bit of a warm up
Yeah.
before I play.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's really handy having something close by, and then I have a bit of a setup at home where I shred a bit of guitar and throw a few ideas around with King Parrot stuff, and yeah, it's really quite
Cool.
cool being able to
That's
do a
good.
few things. I
Yeah, and
actually,
you're lucky that it's only a 10-minute ride, man, to your
mm,
drum kit. You're fortunate because some of these dudes that I know, or that we all know, that man, you
yeah,
live in some of those big cities. You got to jump on a subway and connect to another subway, and to
yeah,
just to go practice. And they're like, we're gonna practice on Tuesdays and Sundays, and that's it. And it's like, damn,
yeah.
I don't know how I'd live that way,
Yeah, well, I suppose I got to hop on a plane to go and rehearse with King Parrot, so
man.
so that's another thing. But I do a lot of my own personal practice, especially
Cool.
in the writing process. Just throw a set of
Yeah.
headphones on and
Yep.
just bash away at the ideas. So we're writing a new album at the moment, and we're
Right on.
lucky in that respect, similar to you guys, where we've got Squizzy with a mobile setup, and we just record everything, and then we've all got something to take home and practice to and listen to, and
Awesome.
yeah,
That's great, man. Can't wait to hear it.
yeah, it should be good. Getting there, not quite ready yet, but we'll
Yeah,
we'll be
yeah.
there soon. Yeah,
As we know, take our time. No, never
yeah,
rush. You never rush an album or a song.
no, and that's it, and it's certainly good. It's different approach as well this time. Just sort of really being really open to trying different parts, not getting too
Cool.
married to anything.
Yeah.
Really trying to, when a guitarist will give you a mouth beat, it's like, oh, it's just
Yeah.
like really trying to make that into a drum beats for some of these
Yeah.
songs, and yeah, so far it's working. So
Cool, man.
it's cool to have a different approach.
Right on.
I guess we touched on the back earlier, but
Yeah.
have you ever had any like major drum related injuries, like either caused by drumming or that caused you to not be able to drum? And how did you overcome that?
Yeah, no, I've never had any major drum injuries, and I did have a fucked up, strange wrist situation in a part of my life, and it happened to be fortunate
Mm,
that it was during the hiatus when Obituary was gone. We just kind of took a break, and next thing you know, it was 4, 5, 6 years going on. I
mm,
was, and I don't even know. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened, and I don't know how it really resumed or fixed itself. But at a certain point, my wrist, my right wrist, uh, just like one morning, I woke up and I went to open. At the time, I was actually doing what do you call it, carrier. I was a basically FedEx or
yeah,
UPS.
yeah.
At that time, it was a company called Airborne,
Mm-hmm.
small company that's kind of like FedEx and UPS. They turned into what is DHL now. That's a pretty
Oh,
big company. I
okay.
think that's worldwide.
Yeah, yeah,
So I was a DHL driver for a while,
yeah,
and so I had a van, big ass van. The door, you push your thumb to on the handle of the door to open a van door,
yeah,
and I remember one morning I pushed it, and I was like, ah, man, I felt this jolt, and I didn't think much of it. I just thought, I don't know, that's just kind of weird. And then day after day, it got worse and worse, and it got so bad, not necessarily like moving your wrist as if you were doing a throttle to a motorcycle, not
mm,
that direction, but side to side, which you don't ever think you do that, but until it hurts, you don't realize how much you actually make your wrists go side to side.
right.
And I don't know what it was, man. I don't know if it was tendonitis or some kind of carpal tunnel that was happening to me from so many years of drumming,
Mm,
or just repetitive doing something. But it was just this most annoying, jolting, reoccurring pain that reminded me every time I went to just grab a pencil or grab my beer or just do something the wrong way. You're like, "Ee!"
yeah,
and like any unsmart, stupid person, I didn't go see a doctor. I saw my chiropractor. I asked him what he thought, because so much is involved with the spine and the nerves of the neck and the lower back that it runs all through your body. And
yeah,
and
yeah.
he suggested a few things. We did a few things, some pressure point stuff. Um, and it got to the point where I told him, I said, I don't know what to do. I'm willing to try anything. At that time, I didn't have any kind of health insurance. I just was kind of free balling it. This was like 1998, maybe somewhere around
Mm,
there. It was a long ass time ago, and I just all I did was just try to not use that hand for quite a few days, weeks, and it just kind of started making itself better,
yeah.
and then it mysteriously just kind of went away.
Oh, wow.
and so I got lucky. It was a brutal, jolting fucking like someone stabbing you with about 1,000 needles in your wrist kind of feel,
Mm-hmm.
and it scared me pretty good. But had it lasted any longer, I probably would have had no choice but to uh, go see a doctor. And if anybody, I don't know how Australia is, but if you're an American and you don't have health insurance, good luck. Unless you injure yourself and you walk into a emergency room, then they have no
Mm,
choice but to help you. But they'll
yeah,
also hand you a $300,000 uh, bill for a
yeah,
2-night stay, and you're supposed to pay that for the rest of your life. So
yeah.
I just didn't. I just prayed that it would go away, and it did. And
Mm,
I'm not a believer in God. I'm not a
mm.
praying kind of guy.
Pray to
But
the universe, man.
that's it. I just
Yeah,
prayed to the planet, man. I was like,
yeah,
just make my wrists okay, because I still gotta a lot of drumming going on in my life.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if it was actually pressing the knob